Hello, girlfriends. I'm Jabbour and the founder of the Girlfriends Club and the host and creator of Girlfriend2Girlfriend. It is so great to be with you all again this Tuesday evening. And I am excited to invite two very special women who we're going to be girlfriending with this evening. They are the founders and creators of the Rezort Collection, and that's Resort with a Z. And when I heard their story and I heard their mission and their passion for creating something entirely from scratch during the pandemic. Yes, during the pandemic, I said, I have to talk to you two. So please, let's welcome Frances and Catherine, creators of the Resort Collection. Hello, there's Frances. Hi,
Hi,
Catherine. Good evening.
how are you?
You ladies ready for some serious girlfriending?
Yes.
All
Super.
right. So I don't know if you heard my little promo, but I really, I just find it so fascinating, right? So we were just talking in the green room, and you two girlfriends weren't always girlfriends. You were colleagues.
Yes.
Correct.
Now, Catherine, tell me the genesis of your relationship.
Well, it started as a professional relationship, and soon we were sharing ideas of different businesses back and forth. And
But
then,
why? What was going on that you wanted to do something together?
well, we both brainstormed a lot of different like ideas that we want to start ourselves. So, we started with let's do a handbag company. Oh, let's do a clothing company. Let's do all kinds of things. So eventually we came to the decision of a clothing line. But before that, we became close on, I would say, on our work trips. We had a lot of fun.
Ah. So unlike me, who relies on Powerball and Mega Millions for that next big win, you two were literally, putting your minds together saying, we really want to start something from scratch.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's actually, if I can chime in, it's definitely Catherine. She's she was anytime anything would come up, and I say this all the time, I'd be like, wow, I wonder if they can make this pen like have sparkles or something. She'd be like, that's her business. So time, whatever, any kind of adversity we faced, or we were like having a good time or working hard or even like shuffling through samples, I'd say something or she'd say something and it would be, we can start a business. We can do this. Catherine is very business minded. And I'm super grateful for that because frankly, without her and her force behind me and constantly like, let's start it, let's do something, let's start something. I don't know that I'd even be sitting here today. I mean, I've been working myself for so many years, but that kind of entrepreneurial way, even though I believe I have it myself, but I didn't maybe have the courage to take the step that she forced me into, which forever grateful, truthfully.
Well, that's a true partnership, right? And because you're yin and yang,
Yeah.
that's
In our
probably
colors.
yeah, really. But let's take a step back. So your colleagues, you're working together, you're traveling together, and you're trying to figure out, what is that opportunity that you two can, put your brains together and your creativity and your passion. So if it wasn't the sparkle pen, but but it turned out to be something pretty cool. Love the name Resort with a Z, Resort Collection during the pandemic. Hi. Okay, let's review that scenario.
Of course. I would say it was a lot of phone calls. We had a lot of downtime. So
You had no choice but to make phone calls, girl.
yeah. So we're just brainstorming, and eventually we're like, let's do it. Francis had a great idea of the multi-use pieces and had some inspiration. And then from there, we built out a PowerPoint of kind of where we wanted our company to be and sit within the marketplace. So with Francis's creativity and, you know, inspiration from the fashion industry, we really came together on, you know, Resort Collection.
Which is, you know, it's really interesting because, you know, um, during the day, right? You know, I have a full-time job. I get dressed every single day. And but you're kind of in a, especially in between time. Like you don't really want to put on your sparkle blazer, but you don't want to wear your ACDC sweatshirt, you know,
Right.
but you want to feel comfortable, but you need to be approachable, you
Right.
know. So I feel like maybe that's kind of where you folks are, you know, that you're making like approachable, comfortable, bougie styles, right? You know,
Yeah.
so am I kind of on the right?
No, you're 100%. I mean, most people that know me would know that, as I mentioned, like I put my fragrance on for this call that nobody's going to smell me. But I am the kind of person who wakes up in the morning and puts on makeup. And during the pandemic, my husband would be like, "Where are you going?" There was nowhere to go. And I said,
The grocery store.
yeah, I know, the laundry room. I'm like, I just, and after, you know, the initial couple of days of being in, you know, kind of comfortable and not having to dress up, I started to feel like it was almost taking like a toll on me emotionally too, because now, you know, I felt like I was behaving the way I was dressing. And I still,
That's really interesting, Francis. That is, I think that that's something that we all felt, right? And
yeah,
I'm going to take a direct quote from you, and that is when you feel good, you do good.
yeah,
And I think that that all has to go back to, you know, how you're dressed, you know, lipstick on, perfume on. I think for everyone it's different, you know, but it's feeling complete and it's feeling put together. So regardless of where you're going to put one foot in front of the other and end up, you want to feel whole.
right. And it was that. It was like, you know, am I supposed to put my entire business suit on to sit in front of my monitor? Not really. And did I have to run out to the grocery store with the mask and everything else? And, you know, just the heaviness of and the energy of the world, I believe. So it was this kind of approach where I still want to look representable and cute, and not we, but also comfortable and still, you know, I don't know if I want to say like feel sexy and pretty, because when you're kind of at home all day long, day in and day out, and you know, just like I said, the heaviness of the world during that time, a lot of these elements and emotions were flaring and flying, and we just kind of put our minds together and we're like, how can the clothes you wear help you feel better, not only from aesthetically, but also from within. And that's when all these kind of pieces started to come together. And then, you know, saving money, so different on use and modular approach, while also embracing the way the other generations dress too, as well as perhaps my generation. So we have a very large sort of, I would say, window or demographic.
It sounds like there was a lot of emotion put into establishing where you were going to go with your collection and the pieces that you've chosen, you know, that are going to, I guess you said March 19th, you can pre-order. But I think that, you know, the emotion that's coming through in this conversation and the passion is just terrific and something that could be very contagious, right? Because you want you want to create that excitement. Now, we all know that, you know, you can buy a white t-shirt anywhere and a black blazer,
Yeah.
but what is it that Resort Collection is going to deliver that's going to make us feel extra special?
So I can start. So even with just the basic tee, it's going to be a very luxury feel. It's not going to be a basic tee that you might find at Target or Amazon, but it's something that, you know, it reflects the value that we're trying to offer to the client with a feel of also being comfortable, but you can look good and refined with, you know, maybe putting a blazer on top of it or adjusting it or, you know, changing the look from, day to night kind of thing, or work to play. And that was the concept of our pieces.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
it's not, I say this all the time, and I think I might have said this to you before, Allie, like, I wish we could make clothes that could make you lose weight, or maybe
Oh,
make
you're not going to figure that out? You don't think?
soon we
Come
will.
on.
Or, could, fix your grays eternally, a problem I have. But, we like to call, when we were brainstorming and kind of coming around with the product, we called it, we referred to it as enlightened basics, like as Catherine said, and it's also enlightened because everybody has their own style. They all have their personal approach to dressing. And, like she said, she may wear her t-shirt with a blazer while someone else might wear it with a wide leg pant, or perhaps the jogging pant, or the jogging short, or whatever else, or the skirt that we're producing.
Wait, do you know what I'm wearing?
Jogging pants?
I'm wearing joggers and a very tailored blazer and a white t-shirt, I think from Amazon. I mean, but I think, it's okay. In the past, it wouldn't have been, right? It would be like, you want to be you have to stick with one designer. But now I think there's so much forgiveness. Like, style is so personal.
Yes.
And it's okay to, mix and match and put, different basics together. So, I love it. I think joggers have emerged as like, my new best friend, just saying.
That's great for us to hear.
Good. Yeah. I mean, it's just so funny. It's like, I always say when I'm on meetings for the office, don't ask me to stand up. I'm wearing my Pumas and joggers. But I
Right.
feel, but it's a whole new norm, right? And, and also, we're at the crossroads of our personal life and our work life coming together. And, how you were saying day to evening, right?
Mhm.
So, I say day to work and day to play,
Yeah.
because you want to be able to I think life is a little bit more casual these days too, and be able to have these wonderful pieces. So tell me about these fabrics that are going to be so different.
Well,
I think it's full disclosure, Catherine. I mean, I think in every business, I think there's setbacks for setups, right? So,
Right.
of course, we're experiencing some setbacks and
Of
some,
course.
but yeah, go right into the fabrics. I mean, nothing's really changed there. It's just some source.
well, our first drop will have, it's a French terry, the hoodie and the throw blanket, 100% cotton. And then, the t-shirt, 100% cotton as well, and a jersey knit. And then, the following pieces like wide leg pants that we spoke about. And those, the dress and a long sleeve will probably use more of like also a jersey knit. And just kind of sticking with, fine quality materials that are both comfortable and wearable, and you can wash it a million times, and there's not, it's not going to shrink or pill or anything like that.
That's so important. But you sound like you're quite the designer and fashionista here. So are you, I know that Catherine comes from the fashion background, but you're talking up quite the tea here. You sound like you're all over it. So I come, my family's in the linen business, so I'm very familiar with the finer cottons and the French terries
Yeah,
and how good that feels on your body.
Yeah.
that's important to us. We want you to feel good in the pieces, feel good, look good.
So I remember last when we first met, we talked about the name Resort and why Resort, and I figured it out, but I think we should tell.
You made us feel so good. High five with each other in the background. Yes, thank you. It was so great.
So Frances, tell us why Resort.
Well, the word is definitely twofold for us, and like I said, this is born in the start of the pandemic, and we would be talking like, oh, if we could just be on a resort somewhere sipping cocktails or something.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, well, I'd probably get a little bored if I was on a resort this whole time. But we're gonna have to just resort to a different way of life, and resort, and not in a negative way, and just in a just different way. Like you said, right now, look at how much business is being done through your monitor, and you know, perhaps this setback of COVID set us up 10 years forward, because we're able to have more flexibility. We're able to have maybe some more family time and personal time, and you know, resort to us, and the name is exactly that, is if you want to take it as I need to be on a resort, we're going to supply you and provide the clothes to wear on a resort. But if you want to take it as I'm resorting to always being happy, or resorting to always, you know, taking the high road, or whatever the positive thing you're doing or resorting to, we're going to provide an outfit for that too. And all the other emotions that go with it. Yes, absolutely. When you said emotion, it means so much to both of us. And we really, really hope that that's communicated to the consumer in the end use. And that's why also, I don't know if we'll bring this up, but the whole philanthropic approach that's very important to us. And with every item sold, we will be working with a specific or whatever charity foundation. We're not really sure if it's going to be, right now we're working on sort of pieces. We're not sure if it's going to be per category, per piece, or how, but as the collection evolves, we will always be giving back, always resorting to do good.
That's huge, right? That's my mantra, is paying it forward. So very similar, you know, it's we don't get here alone.
Right.
Ever, ever. So to take me to the Monday to like your Monday morning calls. Like what are you girls talking about? So like you do your girlfriending and then it's right down to work. You know, what are the pieces? What should we do? Are we doing more sparkle pens? Or you know, what's happening? What's it like? I mean, because like you said, you were colleagues, now you're girlfriends. So, you know, what are your meetings like?
Well, I have to say that all the time, every day, weekend, night, morning, whatever it is.
Yeah. Middle of the
Sometimes,
night.
But
Are you
I bet
like,
that's when you get your best work done.
yeah,
I think like it comes like randomly, like me, I'll be in the shower and I'm like, oh, I need to text her all these things. But
totally.
yeah, we have a lot of meetings about all kinds of things, you know, whether it's logistics, product,
Right.
you
I
know,
think my dog wants to know if you're going to make collars.
You know,
Daisy.
we're thinking, we've talked about some of the pieces also being duped for your pet, so you never know.
Here she is. She's ready to model.
Your mascot, yeah.
But you know what? I think it's a great idea, to be honest, because here's my idea. I'm not in the shower, but you know, so many people have adopted fur babies
yeah,
during the pandemic, you know, and maybe you want to partner like with a Bideawee or one of, you know, the beautiful, you know, pet adoption services out there, you know, and say for every, you know, pet that's adopted, you'll give them a resort collar. What do you think, Daisy?
I love that. All right.
And,
On
and
it.
she'll be in your campaign. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, you know, like that's another way to pay it forward, right? Because so many animals. I was reading a statistic. The number was insane of how many adoptions there were in just this country alone during the pandemic, and how they've really, excuse me, hi, and how they brought so much joy to people's lives. Okay, so wait, we digress. So you're in the shower, you get ideas, you guys are talking all the time. Um, how
All
does that work? So you just one of, like you said, one pulls the trigger and it just you make things happen.
Catherine, I want to say, is a little bit, she's like, I'll get a text, can you talk? And I'm like, then I'll call her right back right away. I'm like, I can always talk to you. Where usually I'm texting because I feel I text a lot more. But if I really need to get her on the phone, I never send a can you talk? I just I just probably keep on dialing until she answers.
So
Or she's like in the shower, who knows?
yeah, really. She's gonna get, you know, she's gonna have Siri call you from the shower. Um,
Yeah.
so you know, this is both, I think for both of you, your first entree into the world of entrepreneurship. Is this correct? So what type of advice would you give to someone that's starting out? I mean,
well, I would say don't get down on one issue. There's a lot of challenges that arise. So I would say keep a positive energy and continuing to go forward, because it can get really hard and a little bit devastating, but you just got to keep going. And then you start to see, oh my God, look, it's starting to happen. It's starting to come together. And then it gets really exciting. So just, kind of like keeping, the momentum going, I would say. Don't get discouraged so quickly.
What about you, Francis? What would you say?
That was like fabulous advice, and she's so good at that because I'm like, Karen. And she'll be like, no, and she'll find something in the day or in the moment or in like even like at a time that I think we could potentially be in big crisis. It's a great question. I probably wish that I had some more time to think about it, but for me, just on a personal level, I would certainly say, whoever you're working with, I think it's important that you have some sort of chemistry, and whether that be a partner or whatever, like if you're launching or there has to be some kind of balance there. And for me, I feel like sometimes I can be a little all over the place. And as an entrepreneur, I myself have to pull myself back in and kind of recenter. So I think that, I guess I would say, as an entrepreneur, make sure that you know where you have to be most rationally thinking, like how to stabilize yourself. Probably because that's a challenge for me. No. And I think Catherine really, really, without a doubt, helps me with that. Like I said, I without her in my, sometimes she's just like, is everything okay? And I'm like, it's fine. But she knows everything's not okay because I'm freaking out about a million things. And then she's like, okay, we're just going to start here. And I'm just going to do this. For me, I would probably say find a great partner, but he wants to find a great partner. They want to do things on their own. So.
Well, I think that's, it's as important as a marriage, right? I mean, you want to have, because you have to be able, the first pillar is communication, right? So if you can't communicate together as partners, what good is it? I mean, you could be two beautiful faces like you both have, but if you can't communicate, then that won't happen. Did you ladies put together a business plan and a marketing plan, or were you just kind of going about it along the way? I think that's advice that, which way did you folks go?
I would, yeah. We sat down, we really tried to build up what we want this company to look like within our mission, our vision, our, what we don't give into, what we stick with, our language as a company, when we speak on social media and on different platforms and things like that, we try to keep in that. And so we definitely created a marketing plan, definitely created a business plan, and kind of focus like where we want to be at this time, thinking always in the future as well.
Yes, we're really, really project things out quite as much as we can, but also be able to respond to, and this is important to us in many ways, and is current events. Like I said, with the charitable and just so keeping our finger on the pulse of what's happening, and also having such a long plan and being able to pivot within that plan to respond to anything that maybe it's happening in the world or the country, the market, or whatever it is.
My word this year is flexibility.
Yeah.
That you have to be flexible, right? I mean, if anything that the pandemic has proven, and that is we are all flexible and we can all pivot. So I commend the both of you for even, you didn't dip your toe in the water. You girls fully drenched yourselves in the deep end. And it's pretty amazing. I just, before we have to say goodbye in a few minutes, I want to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing on Instagram, the images that you're putting out. Some of them are just so, beautiful. There's some pure escapism in some of the photography. You're very inquisitive, you're asking questions, you're doing polling. Is this all a part of your marketing strategy?
Of course. I think, we're creating a lifestyle brand. So we're starting, we really want to start the Instagram before we had product to gain some traction and understanding who our target market is. So with the polls and the questions, we're really learning who our customer could be and how to better cater, to them through social media. And it's a great marketing platform for sure.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about it, Francis? I mean, do you, coming from like the fashion background, and
I agree. Definitely this, the whole social media, it's not something that I necessarily grew up with, but we have a wonderful team that really helps support us, of course, with our guidance. And we're very open to their ideas and creating this, as Catherine said, lifestyle brand. And thankfully, we were able to the analytics and see what, what's driving certain things and where we can capitalize in there. And we get a lot of ideas from that. But the whole Instagram, we kind of took it more like we want you, we want to invite you into our world, and we want you to experience our world, whether it be through travel, whether it be through exercise, whether it be eating healthy, or just, we make jokes about, I just said, yes, when was it? Monday on our social media call, I said, we go from being super zen, which is probably like the rest of women, where we're like posting like yoga poses and teas and recipes, to Thirsty Thursday. But it's kind of the way, women are, and people, they're so multifaceted, right? And we, like you said, we're flexible, and sometimes we change our minds.
we do change our minds, and the public will tell you what they want.
Right.
They're very good at doing that, right? So, your community will stampede all over what they don't want and will embrace what they want. And people are fearless. They will tell you, the minute you ask the question, you'll get an answer. I have to say that I commend you both. I think you're both risk takers. I think that, I really admire your business acumen. I admire your girlfriendship a lot. I think it's amazing how you took your business life and you realized that it was something that could be fertilized into this incredible lifestyle brand together. And I hope that everyone watching will find you both at Resort with a Z Collection. Your handle is Resort Collection on Instagram, and your Resort Collection on Facebook, right?
Yes.
And I hope that I know that every dream is going to come true because you're both brilliant women, and I'm a fan. So I hope you stay in touch, and
We
you'll come
will,
back
and thank
and you
you.
can show us some of your bougie loungewear that's sexy, approachable, and soft to the body.
Love it.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh,
Really great.
I'm humbled to know both of you, and welcome to the friendship and the world of Girlfriend to Girlfriend. So you all take care. Have a great night. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week.
Farewell. You too.
Dr.
Bye-bye.
Daryl's back. So you got to watch Dr. Daryl. We're getting off our sugar part 2 next week.
Okay,
So
we're on it.
we'll be in resort wear, getting off our sugar. Good night, ladies.
Good night. Thank you.
night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.